Okay, let me continue with our topic today. That is on retirement scheme for an individual. Alright, I hope that you can see the screen. Okay, so as for today, there will be two agenda that we are going to do. Number one, I'm going to explain to you about what are the important things that you need to know in this retirement scheme for individual topic that is on chapter 9. And after this, I'm going to explain to you about the project paper, basically related to the explanation part of the insurance planning as well as for the education planning. Okay, so let me continue with the topic for today that is on retirement schemes for individuals. In this topic, we are going to look at the characteristic and features of the EPF. That is basically for those who work in the private sector. And we are also going to look at the pension schemes for the government servant, right? So we have a public sector which uh, will retire with the pension scheme, and also the last part we are going to look at the annuities. How annuities can be one form of the retirement instrument. Okay, so let's see what are the important things that you basically need to know in this topic. I also would like to highlight that there are many calculations in this topic. Obviously, I'm not able to show you the step-by-step using calculator if we have online class, but the video lecture that I already uploaded in my YouTube for the chapter 9, you will see very detailed calculation using formula as well as using the financial calculator that I've already shared with you in my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's see what are the contents that we are going to look up for today. Okay, so in regards to the retirement scheme, okay, in regards to the retirement scheme, we can see that for those who work in the private sector, it is compulsory for them to contribute to EPF, okay, Employee Provident Scheme, or we call it as KWSP lah, KWSP. That is for those who work in the private sector. If you work in the government sector, very likely that you have a pension scheme which is totally different than EPF. And if, for example, you are a business owner, you have your own restaurant or you have your own barber shop, kedai gunting rambut ke, also proprietorship business, grocery shop, for example, kedai runcit. So all of these are the nature of the business owners, and business owners typically don't have EPF and don't have pension. But business owners also must think on how they should plan for their retirement. So that's basically the important things for you to understand. Okay, the types of the retirement scheme we can divide into two. The first one is the formal scheme, and the second one is the informal scheme. Formal scheme is where, for example, you contribute to EPF, that is a formal types of the retirement scheme, or if you have pension, in case if you work in the government, that is a formal scheme. The informal scheme, yes, there are some of the scheme which are basically informal, but the benefit of the retirement is basically not very clear, okay, to the recipient or to the retiree one day. Okay, if you look at how the EPF works, the system is pretty simple. Okay, the employee, you have to contribute certain portion of the salary, to the EPF, and also the employer also must contribute certain portion or certain percentage to the EPF account of that particular employee. And there are several conditions that we need to fulfill. We are going to look at all of these things after this, okay? Some of the scheme of the EPF, of the retirement, we call it as, we can categorize them under approved or non-approved scheme. Approved scheme such as EPF, you can benefit from this in the sense that you can get the tax relief if you contribute to EPF. So I understand that for this semester you are taking tax planning course. So I hope that you are very familiar with the deduction or the tax relief. And one of the component is the contribution to EPF. As if, for example, you contribute to other type of scheme, you might you will not be able to claim for this EPF or tax relief due to your decision. So that's why there are certain benefit if you contribute to the approved fund. Okay, so have a look at the EPF. This is basically the definition of the employer. Okay, so what is actually the definition of the employer as has been stated in the section 2 of the Act? A manager, planner, or person responsible for the payment of salary or wages to an employee. So obviously you are an employer in the case if you actually pay the salary or wages to someone who works for you. So the employer also can be anybody or person, whether or not statutory or incorporated, and whether they are federal or state government statutory boards. So here are basically the definition of employer. If you pay the salary to someone else who work for you, then you are basically an employer. Who is actually an employee? Employee is any person who is employed under a contract of service or apprenticeship. You are employed with a contract of service, means that you have some sort of an agreement. If you work in certain organization, you will be paid certain amount of salary, things like that. You are entitled for certain number of leave, etc., etc. If, for example, you see someone who is an expatriate employee, okay, here in Malaysia, if you go to certain place, like Damansara, certain area like Soho in Damansara, things like that. I went there and it is full of, the place is actually crowded with a non-Malaysian, but they look very affluent. Okay, macam educated people, but they are not a Malaysian. So basically if you walk around KLCC, you will see some people who are not Malaysian, and what they are doing here, they possibly are expatriates. Means that they work in Malaysia and they are originally from other countries like Dubai, or sometimes they are from United States or United Kingdom, but they work here. So they are expatriates. They come here and work for a certain number of period, and after that they will leave Malaysia. So for the expatriate people like them, they are not able to the EPF contribution. If, for example, you work part-time, dan tengah cuti kan, you work part-time at a restaurant, for example, helping to cook, or sometimes you work as a helper in the company house, jadi macam cleaner ke, help the people in the house, a waiter, if you work in the restaurant, or maybe a child nurse, all of these jobs are mainly part-time job, and they are not liable to contribute to EPF. So kalau kerja macam-macam ni, gardener ke, dia tak adalah, ataupun kerja part-time, cuci kereta dekat car wash, driver, so this job normally not liable to contribute to EPF. Partners, if for example you have a partnership business, such as firma guaman, firma audit, all of these partners also not liable to contribute to EPF. If you are self-employed, tak kisahlah kerja sendiri kan, apa-apa juga kerja sendiri yang kamu lakukan, it is not liable, tapi you can contribute if you want to the EPF up to 500. Okay. So let's see. All right. What are the conditions for EPF withdrawal? Let me explain to you pasal EPF ni. Mainly, we have two accounts in the EPF. This is important. Yeah, we have two accounts. Once you contribute to EPF, you will automatically open these two accounts, account 1 and account 2. Account 1 has a huge number of percentage of the saving. Okay, so account 1 account for 70%. Okay, account 1 dia simpan 70% of the saving. That is account 1. Account 2, it will keep the remaining balance. That is another 30% of the saving. Okay, something that you keep in account 2. So for account 1, account 1 banyak lah, 70% of the savings simpan kat sini. You can only withdraw the money once you reach 55 years old. Okay, and for account 2, where you keep another 30%, you can withdraw all from account 2 when you reach 50 years old. Okay, bila umur 50 tahun boleh keluarkan duit daripada account 1, account 2 semuanya. And money from the account 2 can also you withdraw using, if you for example qualified or following certain condition that has been stated by the EPF. Ada syarat-syarat dia that you can withdraw the money from the account 2 of the EPF. Okay. Account 2 basically can be withdrawn if, for example, okay, in case ada, nanti kita akan tengok what are the conditions that allow you to withdraw the money from account 2. Ini penting juga sebab nanti one day you are going to work, and after that if you plan to buy a house or anything, then you can plan for your future, okay, if you know the function of the account 2. In the case someone want to withdraw the money from the account 1, syarat dia mestilah umur 55 tahun. The general condition that you already know. Second, kalau tiba-tiba if something happened to him physically or mentally incapacitated, dia tiba-tiba accident ataupun sakit yang mana dia telah menjadi cacat ke, for example, and not able to work anymore, this individual also can withdraw the money from account 1. Or kalau dia ni adalah expatriate dan dia ada simpan duit dekat EPF, if for example he plans to leave Malaysia permanently, then he also can withdraw the money from the EPF. Another reason that might lead to the withdrawal of the money from the account 1 and 2, all of the money, in the case of death of the contributor. Kalau saya contohnya ada simpanan, I keep my money in the EPF, and suddenly I pass away, then tentulah duit tu semua boleh dikeluarkan, although I am still not reaching 55 years old. Alright, so there are certain things that you need to know, okay? This is related to the house, okay? Payment of the house. Kalau beli rumah, you can withdraw the money from account 2. Okay, kalau beli rumah, you can withdraw the money from account 2. Berapa banyak yang awak boleh withdraw? Okay, dia macam ni. Dia ada kiraan-kiraan dia. Okay, I give you one simple example. Let's say the price of the house is 300,000. Okay, let's say the price of the house is 300,000. biasa rumah sekarang harga 30,000. Lagi mahal daripada ni pun biasa. And then, let's say you have your own cash. Katalah ada duit sendiri dah kumpul lah ni kan setelah kerja selama 5 tahun for example. Let's say you have 50,000. You have 50,000 cash. And you use this cash, 50,000, to pay for the down payment of the house using your own money. Okay, so in this case, apakah jumlah yang kamu boleh claim daripada account 2? Okay, number 1, you can claim the 50,000, the down payment that you pay to the for example, to the contractor or to the bank, okay, for the down payment tu 50,000 awak boleh claim, plus dengan 10% of the price of the house. 10% of the price of the house, which means because the price of the house is 300,000, it means that you can have that 30,000 extra for you to withdraw from the account too, which means overall you can withdraw 50,000 plus 30,000, so overall is about 80,000, okay, from the account too. Another condition for you to fulfill is for you to make sure that account 2 have 80,000. So katalah you qualified to withdraw 80,000 based on our calculation, tapi baki dalam account 2 you only have 70,000, which means that is the maximum that you can release. That is the maximum amount that you can take out. That is only 70,000 based on the remaining balance that you have in your account to EPF account. Okay, certain condition katalah ada orang nak beli rumah and at the same time dia tak ada duit, down payment. Jadi dia memang 100% based on loan. In that particular case, masih lagi orang yang beli rumah ni, they can withdraw the money that is 10% from the purchase price of the house. Jadi maksudnya katalah dia, macam kes yang pertama tadi, awak ada down payment 50,000. So kes yang kedua, katalah dia tak ada down payment, dia tak ada duit simpanan tapi dia nak beli rumah. So loan itu adalah 100%, but at the same time you can take out 10%, okay, from the account 2 based on the price of the house, which means beli rumah, loan 1%, at the same time you can claim 30,000 from the account 2 saving that you have. Okay, sekejap Alright. How frequent that you can withdraw the money? First house only, rumah pertama saja. Ada syarat-syarat lain lah. Kalau nak rumah kedua tapi pastikan rumah pertama dah selesai, habis hutang, ada syarat-syarat lain lah. Tapi basically memang untuk rumah yang pertama sahaja. Certain people, they have suffered several types of illness, sakit, or diseases. These are among of the critical illnesses that allow them to take out the money from the account 2 untuk bayar kos perubatan. Ini adalah antara penyakit-penyakit yang berbahaya lah. Okay. And then they make sure that ada formal approval from the doctor, make sure that you are allowed to take out the money, only then you can withdraw the money from the account 2 with the consent from the doctor. Okay, this is in the case of the medical expenses. Ada kat sini. Okay, kalau you want to withdraw for yourself, you can do that. You can take out all of the saving in the account 2 or the actual cost of the medical treatment, whichever is lower. Tengok mana satu yang lebih rendah. Or sometimes you can also use the money if you want to take out the money for you to cover the cost of the expenses, or not only for yourself but also for your spouse. Katalah kalau ada anak ke pasangan yang sakit, ayah sakit ke, mertua sakit ke, juga boleh keluarkan simpanan tu untuk bantu mereka. Okay, dan katalah you already have a loan for the house tapi tak pernah lagi keluarkan duit from account 2. You can also take out the money for the purpose of reducing the loan of the house, and you can also withdraw for education. In the case katalah nak belajar ke peringkat masters or PhD, you can also do that. Besides, you can also take out the money from account 1. Ini cerita lain pula, ni account 1 pula. Boleh keluar sikit saja for the purpose of investment. There will be certain criteria that will enable you to take out the money to make a saving in the investment, because investment is basically very risky. Okay, normally they will advise you to invest in the unit trust, but because of the fluctuation or uncertainty in the investment, there are very strict guidelines that allow you to invest in the investment, okay, under account 1. So here are the conditions that allow you to make a saving or approve your money for the purpose of investment. Okay, apa dia punya kriteria dia? First of all, we have to look at this required basic saving in account 1. Berapa banyak saving kita dekat account 1? This is the expected, apa yang kerajaan nak. Jadi, it is something like this. If you look at this slide, umur 55, you are required to have at least 240,000. Umur 55, you are expected to have 240,000. This is the basic saving. Umur 18, 2,000. 19, 4,000. 20, 6,000. Okay. So this is all of this figure we have to follow as a guideline that will enable us to identify boleh ke tidak untuk awak buat pelaburan dengan menggunakan duit dari akaun 1. So here are basically the calculation. Let's see how it works. Let's say you are member A, your age is 22. You look at your saving in account 1. Okay, katalah your saving in account 1 adalah 4,000 and your basic saving adalah 10,000. Tengok umur 22, tengok berapa required saving. Required saving adalah 10,000. Jumlah saving kamu cuma 4,000, bermaksud rendah lah. Saving kamu rendah, lebih rendah daripada basic saving. So as in this case, you are not qualified to make a saving to make a investment, okay, using account 1. Orang yang kedua, B, you can see umur dia 22, saving dia ada 11,000. Basic saving yang dikehendaki adalah 10,000, which means that you have 10,000 means that you have an extra 1,000. Daripada extra 1,000 ni, darabkan dengan 30%, kita dapat 300. 300 ni pun tak boleh lagi buat investment because the minimum requirement for the investment adalah 1,000. Okay, so let's say we take the case of individual C, where his current age is 25, which means that the basic saving should be 18,000. So basic saving 80,000, but currently he has 24,000, which means that he has an extra. So 24,000 minus 18,000 times with 30%, it means that you have 1,800, means that you are qualified because it is more than 1,000. You can use this 1,800 to invest in the investment scheme under EPF. Okay, so if you look at this is about the contribution of the employer and the employee. Starting 1st April 2020, we can see that the portion has been reduced a lot. Because in the past, the employee contribution is always around 11%. But because of COVID-19, COVID really changed a lot of policy. All right, so it means that now you as an employee contribute less. That is only 7% because of COVID-19. Another impact of COVID-19 toward EPF is where you are allowed to take out the money using iSinar, iLestari package, etc., that government allow the early withdrawal of the EPF fund. And someone once the contribution is quite low, that is only 7%, it requires you more time for you to top up the money that you have already withdrawn. So this is something, the issues that people are discussing at this point of time, and we have to look at the impact of all of this thing Okay, what will actually happen in the future and what should be our preparation. Okay, if you look at the dividends, once you contribute to the EPF, there will be dividend given to you. And if you look at this rate of the dividend, it keep decreasing. Ya, dulu tinggi-tinggi dulu KWSP tinggi, tabung haji tinggi, ESB tinggi, dulu memang 8, 8, 7 ni biasa. Tapi sekarang ni memang makin lama makin rendah, 4, 3 rendah. Ya, so we should consider an alternative investment. Right, ni adalah the one that I've already explained to you about 70% of the contribution in the account 1 and 30% of the contribution in account 2. All right. Okay. Let me explain to you about the withdrawal. Withdrawal, yes, you can withdraw all, okay, from account 1 once you reach 55 years old. But in the case if you feel that, oh tak nak lah keluarkan lump sum, you feel that you want to withdraw the money sikit-sikit monthly, per monthly. Macam orang pencen, dia kan dapat sikit-sikit duit dia kan, sama juga. Macam ni, katalah tak nak keluarkan sekaligus because if you're afraid, takutlah kan salah guna ke, keluar duit sekali RM500,000, sekali nanti ada orang pula kacau renovate lah rumah, buat macam tu macam ni, awak buatlah, belilah kereta baru, habis duit kan. Jadi rasa macam takut kena scam dan sebagainya, keluarkan duit sikit-sikit pun boleh. So it is one of the very good option provided by the EPF. Kalau dah keluar tu janganlah keluarkan sekaligus, ambillah sikit-sikit per monthly, jadi duit anda lebih selamat dan lebih terurus. Okay, ni adalah reason kalau meninggalkan Malaysia ataupun sakit. Alright, in the case of death, kalau tiba-tiba mati, orang yang contribute tu mati sebelum umur 55 tahun, nanti dia punya penama, the nominee will be able to take out the money. Sama ada mungkin penama tu mungkin boleh jadi spouse ataupun parents, ataupun adik-beradik, anak ke dan sebagainya. And the money that will be received by the nominee should be divided or should be distributed to the waris-waris, okay, to the people according to the faraid. Duit EPF ni adalah tertakluk kepada faraid. Jadi orang yang terima faraid ada bahagian untuk menerimanya. Alright, so this is about EPF nomination. Nomination should be witnessed by a person of at least 18 years of old. Tak bolehlah terlalu muda, bolehlah letak, biasanya orang letak pasangan ke atau ibu bapa ke ataupun adik-beradik sebagai EPF penama. Okay. So this is something about, alright. Let me talk to you about another types of the retirement. So we have pension, ada pencen ataupun share option. Let us have a look at this pension scheme. Pencen ni kalau for government servant, macam saya for example, I'm a government servant, normally they will receive what we call number 1 is gratuity. Bila bersara, dia akan dapat gratuity dan ada pengiraan bagi gratuity tu nanti kita akan tengok. Dan yang kedua yang dia dapat adalah pencen. Pencen ni adalah 50% daripada gaji terakhir dan dia mestilah memenuhi syarat bekerja, telah bekerja ataupun berkhidmat selama 25 tahun atau 300 bulan. Okay. Share option ni adalah dia macam ni. If you work in the private listed company, kerja kat mana-mana company besar, Petronas ke TNB ke kan, bank ke dan sebagainya. So for example, they see you as someone who is doing good at work. Memang company rasa macam ni pekerja yang dia sayang. Mungkin anda akan diberi, this is what we call as share option. Okay, bermaksud dia beri kamu 1 unit share. Harga contohnya 1 unit share, tapi biasanya dia akan boleh dapat banyak lah bergantung kepada position of the individual. Katalah dia beri kamu shares pada harga RM2 seunit. Okay, so kamu belilah dengan harga RM2. Kemudian kamu tunggu. Nanti bila harga tu naik jadi RM8 seunit, bermaksud kamu dah untung RM6, kamu boleh jual. This is where you can make a profit from the sale of the share option. Ataupun kadang-kadang dia memang nak beri kamu dalam bentuk bonus ke macam tu. Jadi syarikat boleh juga beri shares kepada employee supaya employee ni dia sentiasa loyal dengan syarikat, sentiasa setia dengan syarikat, tak nak kerja kat tempat lain, dan sentiasa wants to work their best to improve the performance of the organisation. So by giving them shares, it will motivate the employee for them to work harder. Okay, and the last one is what we call as retirement gratuity scheme. Ini adalah for in the case of the government servant, dia biasanya ada gratuity, dan kalau di private sector kadang-kadang ada gratuity untuk high position. Okay. Now we look at the retirement planning for government servant. Okay, so there is a calculation I already told you. You can receive, this is what we call as monthly pension setiap bulan, iaitu generally is about 50% of your last drawn salary, tapi mesti complete at least 300 months or 25 years of the service untuk qualify for this 50%. Bermaksud kalau orang tu dia bekerja kurang daripada 25 tahun, dia tak dapat 50%. Dia mungkin dapatlah 48% ke 45% ke based on the calculation. Okay. Berapa lamakah pension ni akan diperoleh? How long that the retiree will be able to receive this pension? Dia akan dapat pension ini, okay, sampai dia mati. Orang yang bersara ni akan dapat pension ni sampai dia mati. That is generally like 50% of their last drawn salary, provided that they have completed 300 months of service sampai dia mati. Kalau dia mati umur 100 tahun, sampai 100 tahun lah dia dapat pension tersebut. Okay, untuk pension ni, katalah orang yang dia mempunyai pension tu dia mati, tapi pasangan dia masih hidup, pasangan dia pula akan mendapat pension sehinggalah pasangan dia tu mati. Okay, jadi pension is quite macam unique in the sense that it covers not only orang yang mempunyai pension tapi juga pasangan. So katalah A ni dia ada pension dan dia masih hidup, mati pada umur 80 tahun contohnya. Pasangannya masih hidup lagi. So dia mati pada umur 80, pension tu akan berterusan sehinggalah pasangannya mati. So katalah pasangannya hidup lagi selama 10 tahun, umur 90 dia mati. Jadi kalau mati pada umur 90, maka habislah pada umur 90 pasangan yang dah mati tadi. Tapi kalau dia punya keluarga ni, A ni yang kahwin dengan B ni, katalah dia ada anak dia masih kecil lagi, anak dia belum mencapai 21 tahun, kalau B tu pasangan tu dah mati, anak dia pun boleh dapat juga, anak yang kecil ni yang belum mencapai 21 tahun ni pun boleh dapat pension tersebut sampailah budak ni berusia 21 tahun. Okay, jadi bila anak yang kecil ni berusia 21 tahun, barulah pension tu terputus. Okay, so the pension can be passed between the retiree to the spouse and also to the child in the case the child is still below 21 years old. Katalah wife dah mati umur 80, husband mati umur 90, anak dah besar-besar, jadi sampai husband sajalah. Dia tak akan pergi kepada anak kerana anak has already passed the age of the 21. Okay, saya harap awak faham. This is a very important concept to understand for the pension scheme.
Doktor.
Good to look at the present value of the pension scheme. Okay, we're going to look at the, yes. Okay.
Saya nak tanya kan yang pension tu 50% daripada last drawn salary kan? Lepas tu
50%.
Lepas tu dia bagikan sama rata ke ataupun ikut family tu sendiri?
50% of the last drawn salary. Maksudnya macam mana? Bagikan sama rata macam mana ni? Tak faham.
Maksudnya kalau 50% kan dia ada 2 isteri. So sama rata lah dengan isteri dengan anak tiri dia ke ada kiraan lain.
Okay. Maksudnya kalau dia mati lah Kalau dia mati, dia ada pencen. Lepas tu dia ada isteri, macam tu.
Kalau ada isteri 2 lah, anak tiri lagi lah. 50% tu dia bahagi sama rata
Tak. Normally lah macam ni lah, saya tak berapa pasti kalau ada kes 2 isteri ke ada anak tiri ni, tapi normally portion isteri ini isteri yang sedia ada lah ini dalam kes ni bukannya dalam contoh ada isteri ramai ataupun ada anak ramai isteri dapat 2 bahagian, anak dapat 1 bahagian. Macam tu. Pemikiran dia macam tu. Kalau ada anak 2 orang, anak lagi 1 orang pun dapat 1 bahagian. Maksudnya isteri dapat 2 bahagian, anak dapat 1 bahagian. Kalau anak seorang, kalau anak 2 orang, anak yang ni pun akan dapat 1 bahagian juga. Nanti dia bagilah, bagi 4 lah kiranya. Boleh faham tak saya cakap?
Faham. Dia tak faraid apa semua tak ada? Faraid.
Macam itulah dia punya pembahagian faraid dia. Daripada pension tu. Sebab isteri masih hidup kan. Isteri dapat 2 bahagian, anak dia akan dapat 1 bahagian. Kalau ada anak 2 orang, setiap katalah anak 5 orang, anak ni akan dapat 1 bahagian lah. Isteri dapat 2 bahagian. So total katalah pension tu 1,000. Bagilah dengan 7. Bagi 7, isteri dapat 2 bahagian, anak dapat 1 bahagian. Macam tu.
Terima kasih Dr. Faham.
Dan pada pendapat saya kalau ataupun anak tiri ke maksudnya kalau anak dia sendiri dia boleh dapat. Kalau anak tiri daripada isteri dia yang isteri dia punya perkahwinan lampau, saya rasa tak dapat. Sebab dia macam untuk anak dia sendiri, untuk anak lelaki itu sendiri. Macam tu. Boleh faham?
Boleh Doktor, terima kasih.
Alright, okay. Okay, so kita tengok berkenaan dengan let's have a look at the present value of the pension. Apakah nilai pension yang seseorang tu akan terima? Okay, so normally we are going to look at this for us to understand or for us to compare berapa banyakkah jumlah pension yang sebenarnya seseorang individu itu bakal terima. Tapi in the case of the government servant, it is quite unique. Sebab apa? Sebab the number of N is uncertain. Number of N adalah tak pasti. Katalah seseorang tu dia kerja dengan kerajaan, dia nombor 1 dia tak tahu tahun bila dia mati. Okay, macam saya government servant, saya pun tak tahu umur berapa saya mati. Nombor 1, kalau saya mati, dia akan bersambung kepada pasangan saya. Dan saya pun tak tahu umur berapa pasangan saya akan mati. Macam tu. Jadi sebab itulah N or we are looking at the number of years is actually uncertain. Macam tak pastilah berapa. Tapi we can make for the purpose of comparison, kita boleh anggarkan lah. Katalah in the case of 20 years, normal lah. Normal kehidupan orang tak adalah terlalu panjang sangat. Katalah bersara umur 60. Banyak orang umur 60 pun dah meninggal dunia. Saya di UPSI ni, lately banyak tengok orang yang baru setahun pencen dah meninggal dunia, baru pencen muda pencen muda, dia ambil pencen awal, saya rasa umur 40 tu dia dah pencen. Saya tengok macam staff ni muda lagi tapi dah pencen, okay. 2 tahun lepas tu saya dengar dia dah meninggal lah. Macam tu, saya macam hari tu baru je beberapa, macam saya baru tengok dia baru bersara, sekali tiba-tiba dapat berita dia dah meninggal dunia pula. Kan? Banyak orang meninggal awal lah pada waktu sekarang ni. Saya pun dah tua dan bila-bila masa saya pun boleh mati. Jadi saya pun kena sentiasa ingat lah tentang fakta tersebut. Okay, so let us assume that the annual pension fund, katalah setahun orang tu terima pension 50,000. N is 20, R is 5%. Okay, jadi what will be the value of the pension fund? The present value of the pension fund adalah 654,266. Okay, it's quite huge number lah, 654,000. Whatever, the end is still uncertain macam yang saya kata, dan untuk satu kes dengan satu kes yang lain individual tak sama. Ya, mungkin ada setengah rakan saya yang dia contohnya tak berkahwin, jadi pencen tu hanya akan kepada dia saja. Kalau orang tu berkahwin, nanti pencen tu akan pergi kepada pasangan dia. Jadi kalau katalah dia tidak berkahwin, so dia pension umur 60, 62 dia meninggal. Jadi pension dia hanya 2 tahun sahaja. Macam itulah. So this is how it works. Alright. Dia yang saya terangkan tadi, kalau dia single sampai dia mati, pension tu akan cover. Kalau dia ada anak ataupun pasangan, tentulah sampai pasangan dia mati. Kalau dia ada anak, sampai anak itu umur 21 tahun. Tapi sekarang ni ada sedikit macam kelonggaran. Katalah 21 ni waktu ni budak dah belajar di universiti dan bergraduate pada umur 23 tahun contohnya, maka pencen tu boleh diteruskan sehingga budak tu habis belajar, iaitu pada umur 23 tahun. Okay. This is the calculation for the annual pension fund. Okay, annual pension fund 0.5 times with present annual salary, 1 plus growth plus power of N. Okay, so we assume that N adalah 20, G adalah 5%, present annual salary is 36,000. Macam yang saya kata tadi, generally pension adalah 50%. So that's why you can see here 0.5. Okay, 0.5 in the formula. 50%. Kalau dia lengkap servis 25 tahun. Okay, so this is important ya. Nanti kalau kamu handling the client, ada yang klien yang terdiri daripada orang yang kerja di government sector, at least kamu kena demonstrate lah the ability to understand about their pension ataupun retirement structure. Alright, so dalam kes ni, basically kita nak tengok berapa banyakkah value ataupun dia punya berapakah nilai nilai bagi orang yang EPF pension dia dan juga untuk orang yang bersara. So nak tengok package mana yang lebih menguntungkan, EPF ke ataupun government servant. So kalau kita tengok perkiraan daripada EPF kalau kita tengok dia punya value dia, sekejap saya tengok sini. Sekiranya kita menggunakan kaedah di mana kita tengok, kita lihat bahawa orang tu dia dah kerja selama 25 tahun, kita kena bila nak compare antara EPF dengan government, susah sikit sebab N tu memang tak sure, tapi kita boleh ambil parameters yang sama. Kita assume dia orang ni semua kerja selama 25 tahun. Gaji mereka adalah 3,000 sebulan ataupun bersamaan dengan 36,000 setahun. Okay, dan juga salary, growth rate of the salary is 5%, and in the case employers contribute 12% to the EPF. Jadi berapa banyakkah the value of the retirement? Kalau kita tengok dekat sini, dia punya value dia kalau gunakan EPF scheme, if you use the EPF formula adalah 348,311. Okay, 348,311. Tapi kalau awak gunakan mekanisme yang sama untuk government servant, jumlahnya adalah 983,868. Jadi ini adalah dengan andaian seseorang tu dia akan bersara selama 30 tahun. Jadi banyak beza dia kalau di private sector adalah 348,000, tapi kalau di government sector setelah anda hidup selama 30 tahun nilainya adalah 983,000, lebih tinggi. Dia ada satu nilai yang lebih tinggi. So secara kasarnya, walaupun mungkin kamu tukarlah dia punya tahun ke dan sebagainya, secara umumnya untuk government servant ianya lebih, package yang diberi adalah lebih baik berbanding dengan EPF. Okay. Alright. Saya nak berikan sedikit makluman ya berkaitan dengan pencen dan juga EPF scheme ni, dan ada tak apa-apa kelebihan lain. Sekiranya anda bekerja di private sector ya, memang anda dapat EPF ya, dapat EPF dan contribute to EPF, tapi dia ada manfaat yang pada saya agak baik sikit, iaitu kalau sekiranya anda hendak mendapatkan rawatan perubatan normally dia akan beri kamu rawatan di hospital yang baik. Maksud saya macam hospital-hospital pakar yang mahal tu. Tapi kalau anda bekerja di government sector, medical benefit ni adalah tertakluk kepada medical benefit daripada hospital kerajaan. Macam tu. Okay. So dia ada pro and cons lah. In fact kalau kerja di government sector, kalau bersalin dekat hospital-hospital government biasa. Tapi kalau macam bekerja di swasta, kalau bersalin pun boleh pergi bersalin di hospital-hospital yang mahal lah. Alright. Okay, sekarang ni kita nak tengok, we're going to look at the case of the government servant. Macam mana cara pengiraan dia punya retirement planning. Alright, so let's have a look at this case. Matthew adalah berusia 30 tahun and drawing a monthly salary of 3,000 in the government department. His salary is expected to increase at an average rate of 5% per annum until retirement, that is at the age of 55. We also assume he needs 65% of his last drawn salary as the first year annual income, which shall go up in subsequent year at assumed inflation rate of 4% during retirement. Matthew will park his retirement fund in an account that generates return of 5.5%. He is expected to live for another 30 years during retirement. So this is the calculation, okay, where we have to identify berapa banyakkah dia punya retirement gap for Matthew. Matthew is a government servant. So we calculate the first year income, 3,000. This is basically the salary of the Matthew times with 12, salary for the year, times with 1.05, power of 25 years of service. Dia kena kerja 25 tahun. Okay. And 0.65 is basically the 65% of his last drawn salary. So dia dapat 79241. So we identify berapa banyakkah lump sum need based on capital liquidation approach. We follow the formula. Alright, and you can get this 1.9 million, okay, because 1.9 juta. And then we calculate the value of the pension, okay, using the formula that you have already seen before, 0.5 darab dengan salary, other time with the interest, etc. You can get the value of the pension adalah 934,000. So the retirement gap adalah 1.9 million tolakkan dengan 934 bersamaan dengan lebih kurang 1 juta. Okay, 1.01 juta. So if you look at this table ni cuma nak provekan kepada kamu that with 1.9 million of the lump sum, at the end of the 30th year, pada hujung 30 tahun, the nilai adalah akan menjadi kosong because he use capital liquidation. Alright, so with the gap, retirement gap of 1011 ni, kalau kita dapat cover this retirement gap of 1011 at the end of the 30 years, tak ada masalah. Semua expectation of the Matthew that he wants to get 65% of the last drawn salary will be solved. Tak ada masalah untuk menyelesaikan isu tersebut. So now currently we have a retirement gap of about 1 million, about 1 juta. Macam mana nak selesaikan kes ni? So remember what I've already told you, as a government servant, you are also entitled to receive a gratuity. Kalau mati boleh, bukan mati, kalau bersara boleh dapat gratuity. Jadi pengiraan gratuity ni adalah one lump sum, dapat sekali saja. Bila bersara dapat gratuity and then the next one dapat PJ sampailah mati. Okay, kalau dah mati, pasangan hidup bersambung lagi sampailah pasangan mati. Kalau pasangan pun dah mati juga, kalau ada anak sebelum umur 21 tahun pun layak juga dapat sampai anak umur 21 tahun. Okay. Gratuity one lump sum. So as in this case, the formula is 7.5% of last drawn salary times with 300 or number of completed months of service, whichever is lower. Jadi, based on this calculation, Matthew punya gratuity adalah 228,000. Okey, jadi sekarang ni dia punya gap ada 1 juta, 1.011470, tolaklah dengan gratuity ni. Jadi dia ada baki 782,891. Jadi inilah dia gap dia 782,891. Jumlah ni lah yang dia kena buat saving daripada sekarang ni simpanlah sikit-sikit untuk cover for these expenses. Okay, we are reaching the last part. Okay, the last part of this chapter, that is on the annuity. Annuity ni is actually a products or financial instrument. Dia, how it works annuity ni, kita boleh beli package annuity ni, yang mana, katalah macam saya, umur saya sekarang 43. Saya boleh beli package annuity ni sekarang, di mana nanti bila saya bersara umur 60, saya ada, macam kita boleh design apa yang kita nak. Contohnya katalah saya kata, saya nak bila saya 60, saya akan dapat setiap bulan sebanyak 1,000. Start umur 60, start saya bersara tu, setiap bulan saya dapat 1,000 setiap bulan selama 20 tahun. Dan bila at the end of the 20 years ni, bila dah 20 tahun tu, habis 20 tahun saya akan dapat satu jumlah yang besar, terminal value of 250,000 sebagai contoh, 250,000. Boleh buat macam tu. So we have a package, ada banyak juga bank yang menawarkan annuity products ataupun insurance company yang ada menawarkan annuity products. So bila orang tu cukup umur dia 60, dia akan dapat 1,000 selama 20 tahun. Bermaksud katalah dalam kes saya umur 60 start, maksud umur 80 yang 1,000 tu tamat dan saya akan dapat lump sum cash sebanyak 250,000. We call it as the terminal value. Okay, this particular annuity, product annuity macam ni, orang boleh beli, saya boleh beli sekarang. Walaupun saya belum bersara, saya bersara katalah umur 60, sekarang umur saya 43, saya boleh beli sekarang. Ataupun saya boleh beli bila umur saya 59 tahun, 11 bulan. Okay, 59 tahun, 12 bulan. 59 tahun, 11 bulan. Maksudnya lagi sebulan je lagi untuk saya bersara. Pun boleh. Okay, saya beli package tersebut. Tapi harganya berbeza. Ini saya terangkan secara umum. Kalau kamu baca teks ni mungkin kamu rasa macam kan, blur sikit, saya terangkan secara mudah untuk kamu faham. Untuk package tu umur 60 tahun, beli sekarang ianya lebih murah berbanding kalau saya beli pada usia saya 59 tahun, 11 bulan. Macam tu. Okay, so saya harap awak faham. Dan the purpose adalah untuk dapat constant payment over regular period of time. For example, like 20 years. Okay, once I reach 60 years old until 80, I will receive 1,000 per month. And once I reach 80 years old, I will receive the terminal value of 250,000, for example. Okay, that's one thing. Number two, kalau saya nak beli annuity ni, bolehlah guna single payment kalau ada duit. Katalah sekarang ni ada duit, bolehlah beli cash. Beli cash sekarang umur 43 ni. Tapi kalau tak ada duit, boleh bayar sikit-sikit. Okay, bulan ni bayar sikit, bulan depan bayar sikit. This is what we call as regular payment. Ataupun kalau ada cash sikit, plus dengan tak cukup, so kena buatlah regular payment, bolehlah buat dua-dua. Katalah the product price is 200,000. Jadi sekarang ni ada 10,000, bayarlah 10,000 tu dulu and then you can continue with the regular payment. Okay, so this is the explanation where you can use lump sum if you want to buy. So this is the calculation on how you value the present value of the annuity products. Case-nya macam ni the annuity products pay 1,000 for 25 years. Okay, monthly payment 1,000 for 25 years and final terminal value of 250,000 at the end of the 25 years. Once you reach 25 years, end of the product period, you will get a lump sum cash of 250,000. So by having this information, how much is actually the products can be valued? Berapakah nilai produk ini kalau kita nak beli produk package yang macam ni? If you follow the calculation, masuk dekat dalam formula ni, then you can get the value is 242,000. Dia adalah bernilai 242,000. Okay, so you buy the product now, beli produk tu hari ni, sekarang 242,872. What you can get adalah setiap bulan dapat 1,000 for 25 years, and then after 25 years you will receive cash value, a terminal cash value of 250,000. So it's quite a good product. Okay, ini adalah dalam kes beli sekarang, startnya dah besok. Startnya pada besok kita dah start dengan produk tu. Beli sekarang, besok dah start dengan produk tu. Katalah macam beli pada umur 59 tahun, 12 bulan. Besok dah start dengan bulan yang baru dan start menerima bayaran 1,000 daripada package annuity tu. Tapi kalau kita beli awal, katalah dalam kes ni, beli produk sama tapi beli 15 tahun lebih awal. Lagi 15 tahun nak bersara dah beli dah produk tersebut. So the price is much cheaper. That is basically you just need 116,000. You just need 116,000 and you can buy the same product. This is why, because you buy the product earlier. Okay, so obviously lah, you have seen this. All of this investment, kita cakap, we talk about investment, takluk kepada rate of return. Kalau rate of return tiba-tiba berkurang, bermaksud lagi banyaklah jumlah yang perlu dibayar. Ataupun rate of return kalau tinggi, bermaksud semakin rendahlah jumlah yang kamu perlu bayar untuk mendapatkan that particular products. Okay. This is the calculation if you want to use regular payment or if you want to use lump sum, berapa banyakkah pengiraannya, right? Okay, this is how you should the calculation if you, for example, want to, this is another case sama juga annuity tapi tukar nombor dan juga berapa banyak dia punya terminal value, they change the figures. This is the where you look at the historical performance of the annuity. If you want to buy the annuity, tengoklah dia punya performance dia adalah bagus ataupun tidak sebelum kamu buat decision whether you want to buy the annuity or not. Okay, past performance. Alright. Here are some of the benefit of the annuity scheme. Okay. Okay, so I think ini sajalah that I want to explain to you. Basically, the most important things that you have learned for this class today is about the characteristic and nature of the EPF, and also you learn about the government survey package of the pension and the gratuity, how it works, and the last one, the function of the annuity in order for you to use it as a retirement mechanism. Okay, beside of annuity, ada lagi produk-produk lain sebenarnya yang bagus juga, contohnya macam PRS. Tapi nanti kita akan tengok pada bab yang akan datang. Okay, so at this point of time, I would like to know if you have any question.
Doktor, saya nak tanya. Kan tadi kalau yang contribution kalau RM5,000 ke bawah tu employee bagi 7%, employee 13% tu kan? Itu untuk EPF je ke pension sekali? Ataupun pension tak ada tolak tiap-tiap bulan? Saya tak pernah kerja kerajaan, tak tahu.
Okay, itu yang 5% tu atau 13%, 12%, 11% itu EPF saja. Pension tak ada contribution. Orang pension tak ada contribution.
Oh, kiranya kalau gaji 3,000 lah dia dapat tiap-tiap bulan, tak ada tolak langsung lah.
Kalau kerja apa? Kerja government ke kerja private?
government.
Ya, ya.
Untung lah doktor kalau kerja government.
I would say dia memang lebih menguntungkan ya, kerana satu dia tak ada tolakan gaji tu, tapi tolakan dari segi lembaga hasil tu ada tolakan lah. Cukai tu ada, zakat tu ada, tapi ambil gaji tu contribute kepada package tu tak ada. Contribute kepada saving, macam kalau orang kerja private memang gaji dia dipotong masukkan EPF. Kalau kerja kerajaan tak ada. Dia tak ada potong masukkan ke simpanan pencen dia tak ada macam tu.
Terima kasih doktor.
Okay. Okay, boleh saya tahu sekiranya ada apa-apa soalan lain? Okay, kalau tak ada apa-apa soalan, saya take break ya, 5 minit. Nanti kita akan sambung dengan bahagian yang kedua, iaitu berkaitan dengan insurance planning dan juga education planning. Okay?